Hey, Fiora, what's going on this week?
Hi, Joe. Nothing much. It was just my husband's birthday yesterday, so
Did you do anything fun?
yeah. It's funny because he gets super annoyed when people are like, "It's my birthday month." He's like, "You were born over a month. You don't get a whole month."
He's a rookie.
And I'm like, stop being bitter. So I'm like, it's your birthday weekend, and so like we spread out activities over like 3 days and stuff. So it's cool. Yeah, and we went out to dinner last night with the kids. The night before, it was just dinner for just him and I, and then tonight we're gonna go to a baseball game. So
With the kids or just you and he?
we're gonna take our son because our daughters don't give a shit about baseball.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if he's not taking full advantage of his month, he's a rookie, and he will have to, just deal with being a rookie. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, "Oh no, this is master level."
This is my month.
Yeah. For me, my birthday's in January, so it's just there's not as much to do in January as there is in the summer. So I don't really do birthday months, but I do make a big deal out of it and encourage others to do so as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're born. It's your solar return.
All right, so what announcements and upcoming events do we have?
Well, we have our recorded classes are now all available for purchase.
Yep.
So I've got the Shadow Work series, the 1, 2, and 3. Those are all available on my website, which is linked in our show notes.
Excellent. I have the workshop for intuitives available as a digital download, as well as a class called Journey Through the Major Arcana, where I teach you how to use the Major Arcana as like an oracle. Very fun class. And then I also have the workshop for empaths coming up. It's not until September 11th, but that will be a live class and then also available for a digital download within a couple hours after it.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
We also have, viewers can tell you a little bit about it. We have a new and exciting announcement to make. We are currently planning. We found a place and a date for Journey the Wild, a plant medicine retreat.
Yes. So this retreat has been in our hearts since we first began working together. We just had a long list of all the things we wanted to do together. And this was right up there. So with this, our intention is to create a safe space where like-minded people can gather and learn and integrate a better understanding of themselves through the use of plant medicines. So this is now scheduled for
November 5th through November 7th. And we're going to be holding it in Idlewild, California.
Yes. And it's a little mountain retreat.
Yeah, I'm excited because I've never been to California except to drive through for like 20 minutes or I don't even know, but I'm excited. Yeah, it's just going to be really cool.
Yeah, I've been to Idlewild. I've driven through it twice. I've been there once, I guess. Like it was to go see a job site. It wasn't anything fun. But we're going this weekend, so I'll give you a recap next week of how it is, because I've heard it's really cute and like hippie and it's a cute little spot. So
yeah, that's what I'm excited about, is that it's kind of hippie. And so I was gonna ask you, like, what makes it Idlewild? Like, what is it about it? So yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to that recap of it.
Yes, I'll give you the recap. So for now, we just ask for you guys to please mark your calendars, and we're going to release more details over the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But again, that's November 5th through November 7th.
Very exciting.
Yes. All right. So what are we talking about today, Joe?
Today, we are going to talk about numerology. So, what I've done is I've decided that I'm going to do a numerology series. And every now and then, we'll talk about a new topic, what the numbers are, that sort of thing. Today, we're going to start with the birthday number. Now, typically, the most quote unquote important number in numerology is the life path number. But the life path number and the birthday number are very closely related. And so this is why I'm starting this numerology series with this number, because the life path number gets all of the limelight, but the birthday number, it gives you the skills and abilities and all of that stuff. So let's start with the basics. What is numerology? All right, so every number in your birth date reflects the path that you walk and the opportunities and challenges that you're going to encounter, okay? Numerology reduces all multi-digit numbers down to single-digit numbers 1 through 9, with the exception of 3 master numbers, 11, 22, and 33. Okay, so when you get those numbers, you don't break those down because they have their own qualities, but they also reflect the qualities of what that number would be broken down into, which would be 2, 4, and 6. And master numbers, honestly, they just indicate a life with more challenges, but also greater successes. You have 2 master numbers in your core chart. And so that's exactly what you experience. You experience challenges, but you also experience big old triumphs. I myself am also a master number. I have a master number, a 33-6 life path. So your core numerology chart, much like your birth chart for your astrology, it consists of 5 numbers that provide sort of the deepest look into the many traits, strengths, and challenges that make up who you are. So if you hear the term a core numerology report, you're looking at your life path, your expression, soul urge, your personality, your birthday number. And so this series is going to cover all of those, and we're going to go into depth about what those are and what those traits are and how to bring balance to them and know when you're out of alignment, all that good stuff.
And these are the ones you offer in your numerology reading, right? Like that's when you do your numerology reading, that's what you get.
Yes, we review all the 5 numbers, but then I also throw in other numbers like karmic numbers, maturity numbers. We look at personal year. There's a little, I'll actually go through at the end of this and tell you what we go through in a numerology reading with me.
Okay, cool.
So today we're going to specifically talk about the birthday number. And so the significance of that birthday number, it can't be overstated because some master numerologists believe that it's just as important as the life path number, and they're very closely related. So this is why I'm starting this series with this number instead of the life path number, which sort of gets all of the limelight and attention. So let's get into that number because that is the number. The birthday number reveals our specific talents and gifts. If you think of it in terms of what gifts you bring to the table on your birthday, you get gifts. All right, now how do you calculate that, first of all? It's the easiest one to calculate. It's super simple. If your birthday number is a single digit, then that's your birthday number. If it's a double digit, you simply add the 2 together to reduce it down to a single digit, with the exception of 11, 22, and those are master numbers. So, all right, so you, looking at your soul blueprint, your birthday number is a 4. And so your birthday number, that makes you the teacher. So that's where your teaching abilities and your love of teaching and love of research all comes into play, because the 4 is all about stability and process. And we'll get into all of the numbers eventually, but that's where your love of structure and teaching and showing others comes from. You have other 4s in your chart too, so when they all combine, you're just a big old teacher at heart. You just love to teach people.
It's funny how the number 4, I mean, I was born on a 4 day as well, but the number 4 and the number 2 and the number 8 have always been a big part of my life, just in my understanding. It's funny, like my birthday's on the 4th, but also both of my children were both born on the 28th of their respective months. It's just funny how the 4 has played its part throughout my life.
Numbers, honestly, are the fabric of the universe. And I have started to look at them like, Neo eventually started to look at them in the
Yeah.
Matrix. Like you see
Yeah.
them everywhere, even in things that you don't really immediately recognize as numbers. You're like, oh my God, there are so many things. Like if I look back on all of the addresses that I've had in my life, they all break down to an 11.
Yeah.
It's just the craziest thing once you start going back. My birthday is January 7th, and so 1s and 7s are huge in my life everywhere I turn.
I think it's cool.
It's very cool. Numerology. I geek out so hard on this. All right, so let's review the numbers 1 through 9 and then the master numbers for your birthday number. So if you have a birthday 1, your gifts are leadership, ambition, and a desire for success and achievement. You're innovative, you're the entrepreneur, you're the risk taker and the initiator. You have a really, really creative mind, you have a great business instincts, and you can achieve great things in the material world. You are that big picture person, and you're able to get creative ideas up and running. Now, when you're out of alignment, which means that the lower tendencies of your number are operating, or your shadow, 1s are prone to laziness, procrastination, frustration, blaming others. 1s tend to plow through with blinders on. They tend to force the issues rather than working with a balanced perspective, and can be rebellious for no productive reason. And they like to sit on the sidelines and never take the lead if they're in their lower tendencies. Now, I know that your family, you're just surrounded by 1s.
Yeah.
So these are specific to their gifts, their abilities, all of those things. But again, it's very closely related with their life path number. So you probably see a lot of these in your family members.
Yeah, they're like, I have 3 life path 1s in my house. So
Wow. So for 1s to bring balance to the more challenging tendencies of their number, they need to learn to develop a voice of their own, be confident in their own voice, and then use that voice with a very quiet self-confidence instead of a big out there, sort of bossy. All right, 2s. If you have a birthday number 2 where breaks down, well, I think actually 2 would be the only, you wouldn't, an 11 wouldn't break down to a 2. Oh, so we'll get into the 11 too.
okay.
All right. So birthday number 2, you are sensitive and diplomatic. You're wonderful at harmonizing. You're really good with personal relationships. You're very sensitive, gifted, cooperative, warm, affectionate, all of those things. When you're out of alignment, when the 2 is out of alignment, they can be oversensitive, easily influenced by their environment. So basically like empaths who, instead of maintaining that high vibe, somebody walks in, they're low vibe, and then you're immediately thrown into that low vibe energy. Very easily emotionally drained, taking everything personally, and then there's that huge victim mentality, lack of confidence, and all that stuff. So out of alignment 2s, I feel there's always a big heavy sense of depression there.
Okay.
And so in order for 2s to bring balance to those more challenging traits, they need to use their sensitivity to connect more deeply with others, and then look at it from a different perspective. 2s are the ultimate empaths, and empaths are the most powerful and badass person in the room. So 2s have the ability to channel that information. So you are a life path 2. So all of those tendencies, if you have those, just turn on that transmutation, that channeling, that empathic, take that energy in and shoot it right back out, project it back out. And there you go. It's a way to manage them in the room around you.
Okay.
So now an 11-2 birthday. Okay. Your gifts are definitely, you are that inspired healer, intuitive and sensitive. Your head and heart are often in the clouds, but you're thriving in those peaceful environments, inspiring others with leadership and potential. Because remember, 11 is the leader number.
Okay.
An out of alignment master number 11-2 birthday deals with increased anxiety, really struggling to manage their energetic and empathic boundaries. They can feel resentful when they feel like they're overgiving and they're not receiving the appreciation. 6s feel that way as well. others' opinions about you matter a little bit too much when you're in those lower tendencies. So also people should look out for people pleasing and feeling as if your sensitivity is a little bit of a curse. So to make the most of that master number 11, focus on a really specific goal, or you will experience anxiety and fear.
Okay.
And then 11-2 is incredibly powerful and capable of great things, but can be very self-sabotaging. So 11-2s need to watch those self-sabotaging behaviors. Now, I am speaking specifically about the birthday number in this entire episode, but these traits also apply to any other area of your chart where you have an 11-2.
Okay.
Okay, they're just sort of tailored to your gifts in this discussion.
In the birthday number.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Whereas your life path number is more about what? Like your overall goal in life, or your overall like...
Yes. Yeah. So a life path isn't necessarily like a purpose. A life path is a very specific set of traits that you embody, that you learn to master overall in your life.
Okay.
So with your 11-2 life path number, you are the inspired healer.
Okay.
So you are meant to master all of those qualities and abilities.
Okay.
When you have an 11-2 birthday number, what's your your birthday number is the 4.
4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the 4 those are the specific gifts that you bring to the table as a master healer.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
All right. Now let's talk about the 3 birthday number. The gifts there are creative talent, a very gifted communicator, writer, performer, creative with self-expression, have lots of high, joyful energy, friendly, sociable, charisma, charm, all of those things. 3s are so much fun to be around, so much fun to hang out with. But when 3s are out of alignment, they're moody, they are emotional, have ups and downs, they see the glass as half empty. But the worst part is that they can get very hopeless, very depressed, very down on themselves. Their energy can feel scattered. They can't focus. They can't look at those long-term goals. And then when it gets really bad, they can be really passive aggressive and then use sarcasm as their like emotional weapon of choice. So, 3s can be shits.
They sound like a bunch of teenagers.
It's exactly right. They really are. Damn it, 3s, grow up. So for the 3 to become balanced, they have to learn to remain optimistic despite their challenges and not to look for validation outside of themselves. But that's the big thing. 3s just need to learn that, look, this sucks. I hate this, but I still have to stay focused and optimistic that this is just emotions and feelings and energy, and that all passes. Mm-hmm. All right. So there is no 33-6 birthday number specifically because it can't be broken down. Right? Like nothing equals a 33. So in that case, you would just look to the challenges of the 6 birthday number. But you can make the most of that 33-6 master number energy in your chart by understanding that the demands of the 33-6 are quite challenging. And so that master teacher energy can veer off track with self-doubt, over emotionalism, poor communication, and then a self-righteous attitude. So it's just learning how to bring balance into those things or those traits. Okay. For birthday, your birthday number. So your specific gifts are that you're a super, super hard worker, reliable, honest, really stable, very disciplined, organized, responsible, and tenacious and dependable. You know what I tell my clients?
Thank you.
A lot of times I'll tell my clients, I'm like, now if at any time you don't agree with any of these traits, write them down because those are traits you need to work on, right? But 4s are solid, man, solid human beings, and anybody is really lucky to have a close relationship with a 4.
You're welcome.
Yes,
friends.
Yes, right? She is gift to us all. She is our gift. All right. But when you're out of alignment, you can be stubborn. You can be rigid. You can miss opportunities because you're unable to step outside of your comfort zone, because fours can get very stuck in their ways and also fear instability. So they're like, I'm not going to go do that because I'm fine where I am. I don't want to go and create all that instability. Also, when that stubbornness causes you to tend to dig in, you're like, I'll wait. I'll sit here all damn day and wait, which can sort of cut you off from opening yourself to other solutions or creative ideas. Inflexibility, and then just like workaholic and very blunt communication. So those are just some of the tendencies that you may experience, not to those degrees, but you might find yourself, maybe being, I don't know, a little bit stubborn or whatever. And so to bring balance to the challenges, just make sure that you have a goal in mind, because fours need that end game. They need the goal. They need to have something to work towards. And also just learning to be more bravely self-confident to step outside of your comfort zone. So if you feel yourself being stuck, just be like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to jump first. I'm going to trust that the universe is going to, have their, have the net out. Just, it's about embracing healthy risk and then just taking those impromptu adventures, which your 5 is a really good balance to that 4, because fours can be a little bit rigid. Now, where's your 22-4? Is that in your personality number, I think? Nope, that's your 5.
No, personality is a 5.
Maybe it's in your soul urge. Yep, 22-4. All right. So the 22-4 birthday number, that's a master number. When you have this master number in your birthday slot, I guess, your gift is that it yields a significant amount of power. Very, very, very powerful number. And your potential is boundless. It is absolutely boundless. As a leader, an organizer, a founder, anything like that, you have vision and the ability to actually manifest that higher vision. So you can see things and then you get things done. You're innately gifted with the ability to think big and visualize and organize, all of that. But when you're out of alignment, when people are out of alignment, though that 22-4 master energy just feels super intense, and you might feel like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I just can't do this. And then that can cause feelings of fear and feeling undeserving, not capable, not good enough, all of that stuff. This is where the imposter syndrome comes in for a 22-4. You also, a 22-4 can also tend to dumb down their goals and then get lost in the drudgery of work, because they like stability and process, but they don't like drudgery. And then it can also cause 22-4s to just give up on their visions because they've veered off course. So in order to make the most of that 22 master number energy, just make sure to step outside of that security of the 4 and kick it up substantially. Go after those big dreams. It's going to be uncomfortable, but once you get the hang of it, it's contrary to the energy of that rule following 4. So, the 22 is like, come on, let's go do things. So it's kind of like that 5 urging it along.
Okay.
All right. The next number, we'll talk about the 5 birthday number. And the 5 is like one of my favorite numbers because it's just so fun. The gift of a 5. And this is, again, anywhere in your chart. Fives love to travel, to have adventures, to look for fun, to tap into the fearless need for excitement and change. Fives are adaptable. They thrive with variety. They're really meant to experience the world in all of its glory. And they're just naturally curious and vivacious, highly social. They have a quick mind. They love to shake things up, and they attract people from all walks of life, and then love to experience the exotic or the esoteric. But when 5s are out of alignment, they are impatient, impulsive, they are excessive, they are overindulgent, they are irresponsible. They demand constant activity and stimulation. I have a soul urge 5, and so all of these are just speaking to me like, you
I know.
be your
Yeah.
your 5 is the 5 personality. Fives, we demand constant activity and stimulation. We are easily bored, distracted, very restless. I'm a very distracted thinker. like you have to grab me and really hold my attention, or else I'm looking at you and I'm nodding and going but my head is not in it.
Yeah.
We can be very stubborn and headstrong, often to our own detriment. That's important to understand. And then we can also get really fearful about the world and paranoid, and again, unable to focus and follow through and be unproductive. Right now, I struggle with that inability to focus and the follow through and being not productive because of the last damn 2 lunar cycles. So I'm just, now that we've entered Taurus energy, I'm so happy. Leo and then Taurus. I'm so happy because things are getting more clear. All right. So this is how 5s can bring balance to that. 5s struggle with discipline and structure, finding one that works for them. This is why Fiora and I are always saying, don't tell us what to do. It's that discipline that we struggle with. But it's others telling us what to do, but it's also that inner discipline, So we need to bring balance to those more challenging tendencies, trying to be more mindful of others. 5s can be very single-minded and focused. Give a little bit more grace and compassion. Keep our opinions that don't support the greater whole. Keep those to a minimum. And then 5s are not always the best judge of character, because we just want to enjoy everybody. And so we are also highly intuitive, so we have to learn to use that intuition to gauge the intentions of others. So 5 struggle. Yeah. The struggle of the 5 is real, people.
It's funny because that overindulgent part, I know when I've been at my low points in myself, because it's my personality, I feel like it's affected by my self-esteem.
Yeah.
Like the way that I feel about myself presents itself in an outward way. And so when if I feel like I'm having like a low self-esteem period, I become like very overindulgent in things, and like things that try to make myself feel better, I guess.
Yeah. And a lot of times that results in, sweets or, comfort food or, wine, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Who are these people that overindulge in exercise? Like, can I meet them and have some of that, or overindulge in restriction?
Yeah.
I need a little bit of that.
Minimalist, because I'll just shop my way out of a low point.
I feel really bad about myself. I'm gonna go to Target and only spend $10, right? You walk out of the Target spot and you've got like $100 in your cart.
God,
Balls.
every time.
I love Target. Target tangent. Okay, the 6 birthday number. The 6 is very family-oriented and responsible and nurturing. They're, again, another of the uber empaths. Very service-oriented. 6s love to help others. 6s like to make sure that everybody has what they need, everybody's fed and happy. They have a knack for bringing out the best in those around them. 6s are natural at being in charge and make sure that everything happens for the good of everyone. And they're very attracted to children, and animals love them and all of that good stuff. But an out of alignment 6 has a tough time striking a balance with responsibility, and so often we can feel overly responsible for everyone. I am a 33-6, a life path 33-6, and all of these apply to me, as well as the 33. 6s can feel as if they're carrying the world on their shoulders, and so have really high standards for themselves, which then of course can lead to having standards for others, and then being judgy and all of those things. We are perfectionists, and honestly, I have tried to look at this and be like, why? Like, my parents weren't perfectionists. Like, where did this come from? Because it's annoying, not only for myself, but for others. And so sometimes our disappointment for the world just throws us into these ridiculous, self-righteous criticisms where no one meets our standards. It's the stupidest thing because we are far from perfect. I don't get the dichotomy of it.
Yeah.
And then we can also be overgivers and then resent when people don't follow our advice. Listen, I'll tell you what you need to do. And then people don't do it. And then I'm like, I resent you.
Dare you. Dare you.
Dare you. So
God forbid you ever come up in contact with have you heard of an asshole?
What? Oh, yes, I love that word.
It's a person that asks. No. A person that asks you for advice and then they never take it.
Oh,
why are you asking, you asshole?
Can you imagine? Oh my God, it would throw me into a fit. Oh. All right, so to bring balance to those more challenging qualities of the 6, and there are many, sixes had to learn not to give their power away by seeking validation outside of yourself, right? And then just be your own nurturer. Be my own nurturer. That's a thing that I've had to learn. I have to allow others to walk their own path without judging or meddling and not demanding of others what they simply can't give. While also learning to accept others as they are. That's also one of my karmic lessons. So it's very interesting that they tie together.
Yeah.
6s, we can also be way too trusting. I have gotten burned so many times because I trust people and then I get burned. So 6s need to learn to use their intuition to gauge the intentions of others while also learning how to create and hold really strong boundaries. That's very hard for empaths, very hard for 6s to create and hold strong boundaries. Mm-hmm. And then 6s have to learn how to trust people based on that trust that is acquired over long periods of time. So again, for me, like I tend to trust people right away, and need to learn, not to, which means I've had to bring my circle in and only let like one person in at a time in 10 years. Vet them, have them apply, vet them, and all that shit.
You did not make the cut.
You are fired.
Sorry. Try again, maybe in a few years.
Okay, 7s. The 7 birthday number. 7s. 7s are cool. I love 7s. 7s get a bad rap. 7s aren't really all that likable sometimes, but 7s are so cool. So 7s have a really highly developed and analytical mind. They are gifted with detached. They can be detached, they can compartmentalize, they are multitaskers, they can switch on a dime, they tend to be very intelligent and focused and have a lot of information in like one area, so they like to specialize. Highly intuitive, they're psychics, they're poets, they're mystics. They are the spiritual seekers, they seek higher meaning, and they are typically meant to get to know themselves. When 7s connect with their spirituality, they really feel like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Okay, but when 7s are out of alignment, they're dicks. And honestly, I have a 7. It's my birthday number. My birthday number is a 7. 7s are dicks, really. So they can be aloof and judgmental. We can default into this lofty intellect and look down on people. A lot of times, you hear me say they're stupid. And so that's the 7 in me being a jerk. Highly sensitive and feel deeply, yet expressing emotions often feels uncomfortable for 7s. And so they have a hard time trusting others. So you can see that the 6 and the 7 sometimes can work against each other. 6s are over trusting and 7s don't trust anybody. 7s can often be misunderstood because they don't know how to communicate other than rationally and unemotionally. And so 2s don't particularly care for 7s because 7s are, uncaring and, 7s also need to guard against self-absorption and stubbornness and, just learn that you have to play well with people. So in order to bring balance to the many challenges of the 7, you have to start learning how to do active listening. Showing more empathy and making deeper connections with people, and then be more open to collaboration, and then inquiring into the well-being of others, and saying, how are you doing? Right? I hate small talk, but that's been difficult.
Yeah. I don't want to offend anyone, but it kind of sounds like those are a lot of like autistic traits.
I know. I mean, thank you. It really does. I don't consider myself to be on the spectrum, but if I were.
It just kind of seems like you need to like do a little bit more of an emphasis of relating to people.
Yep. Yep.
And they're obviously very intellectual too.
Yes. And say, okay, make small talk, inquire into the well-being of others. Don't immediately turn it to you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people can say, oh, she's a little bit self-centered, always turns it back to her. But you know what? That's the Leo and the 7 in me. Because the 6 in me wants nothing, only wants to know how you are and help you. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on what traits are more dominant.
Yeah. Yeah. I know people on certain spectrums, the way that they relate to people, the only way that they feel like they can relate is by them telling them a story of when that thing happened to them. And some people get super offended because they're like, no, this was about me. But it's like, no, I'm showing you that I can relate because this has happened to me too. But so yeah, there's that disconnect. I've seen that with people.
Yep. Yeah. And I don't know that it's not intentional, and it wouldn't occur to a 7 not to share something, to say, oh, I can relate to you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's sometimes it's a fine line, which is why I love numerology so much. And I love working with people with their numbers, because it teaches them to look at themselves in a different perspective. Because a lot of times we want to blame ourselves and say, I suck at life. I suck at this. I suck at that. Hold on. It's not that you suck. It's that you have certain traits that they're intrinsic to your soul blueprint that you just need to learn to bring balance to. Yeah. Once you do, you incorporate that and you've mastered that. Mm-hmm. It's the whole point of incarnation. All right, so we have 2 more in the single digit category. We have the 8 birthday number. 8s are practical and ambitious, business focused. They're very money focused, although it doesn't always necessarily come smoothly or easily. An 8 has money comes easily, and they have material wealth and success, and they look at money as a tool, or they struggle with lack.
Okay.
They're very ambitious and goal-oriented. They love a challenge. They enjoy connecting people with situations and opportunities. They know that financial freedom and abundance is a driving force in their life, or they hope for that to be. But when they're out of alignment, they can be over-focused. They're the workaholics. They're domineering and bossy. It's hard for them to balance sort of that intensity. They have very little patience for weakness, yours or anyone else's. They can also become the victim and, blame everything around everybody but themselves. Very narcissistic when they're out of balance. Out of alignment. Yeah. I always think of Trump when I think of an out of balance 8, although I don't think he's an 8. I think his life path number is a 9, which is the humanitarian, which is even more freaking baffling, but he's that person that I think of.
What are the odds?
Right. So to bring balance to an out of aligned 8, learning to incorporate more patience and radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is about accepting what is happening to you and saying, okay, this is what it is, but how can I change this? And then incorporating more tolerance into your interactions and your relationships. And then here's the key, I think, to an 8 success. It's all about power, disempowerment, empowerment. When you learn, what disempowers me? How do I create empowerment? And then what do you do with that power? Do you help others, or do you walk all over others? Yeah, so that's the 8. That's helping and showing others how to mirror your confidence and success.
Okay.
All right. Your 9 birthday number is 9s are the humanitarians. So 9s are all about being creative and philanthropic and compassionate. They have the ability to connect with people from all walks of life. They're all about the bigger picture, helping humanity as a whole. Sixes like to work with people individually. Nines like to work with the world or the greater good. They are very charismatic, and also into justice. So those are the gifts that they bring to the table. But when they're out of alignment, they they can be bitter and cynical. They're very polarizing. So because they have such a way with words, they can either be very polarizing or they can be charismatic. So if you find yourself just looking at a 9 and going, whoa, calm down. I don't know that they're often aware of it. They're just so passionate about what they're talking about. I have a 9. My 9 is my expression number. That's how I express myself. And I know that polarization has been a challenge before. But to bring balance to those more challenging tendencies, 9s need to learn how to temper their passions with persuasive discussion and then connect with others on a more personal level versus a bigger picture, and then resist telling others what to do. 9s love to tell people what to do. 5s do not appreciate those 9s. And 9s also need to learn how to recognize their role in their own bullshit. A lot of times 9s will be like, how did I end up here, and blame other people for it. But so that's it. 1 through 9. We've talked about 11 and 22 birthday numbers. We've talked about 1 through 9 birthday numbers. And again, those tendencies are all found anywhere you have those numbers in your core chart. But these are specific to the gifts that you bring to the table, and then how you can bring those into alignment if you find yourself experiencing any of the challenges. So if anybody, if you would like to review your full numerology chart, or if you'd like a reading, I offer a 60-minute Akashic numerology reading. And just what that means is no matter what reading you book with me, I always open your Akashic record, always, because more information comes through, deeper information comes through. We don't specifically get into past lives or anything in an Akashic numerology reading, although they do come up and I will share those with you, but we don't get into the detail of those. We do that in a soul blueprint reading. But I'll review your core chart that consists of 5 numbers that are going to give you a deeper look into your character strengths and traits and all of that. But then I also include several additional numbers to help you have a better understanding of where you need to focus your energy and your intention. Okay, we talk about your karma. We talk about karmic debt that you've brought over, what lessons you need to learn. And then we'll also look at the next 2 to 3 years based on where you are in your own personal 9-year cycle. So it's a great reading, honestly. I just started offering this reading. I really didn't feel like, who am I to offer my services as a numerologist? But I've been using numerology for like 2 years now. So I think I have a really good grasp of the numbers. And then when you add that with Akashic energy, it's just a really cool, fun reading.
Yeah, I really loved mine. And I think it's so helpful to have these interpretations of our aspects and understanding how, okay, so this is why I feel that way. I'm clearly out of alignment. Especially when you look at the out of alignment traits, and then you're like, okay, that makes sense. And it's like a roadmap of telling you, okay, so you veered off track a little bit, but here's where you got to go so you can be, you can feel better, you can do better, you can keep going. It's nice.
Yeah, it's just a different perspective. And like I said, it just helps people stop beating yourself up and instead look at the science of it and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I bring balance, and stop doing that by being more actively aware of what I'm doing and then do the opposite.
Yep.
So those readings are just $85, and they can also be recorded, so you can go back and re-listen to them as often as you like. So if you want to book a reading, just visit my website, thewokakashic.com, under the Intuitive Readings tab. It's a great first reading to start your Akashic Soul Blueprint journey with me, and then you'll see the other readings that are available there.
Awesome. Those will be linked in the show notes as well.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we have the closing vibe, Fiora. What do you want to
Yes.
talk about today?
So I asked for just a quick channel this morning, and it's very short and sweet, but I really liked it because I feel like it actually ties together to our earlier announcement about our retreat.
retreat?
Just this is perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
So this is about the gratitude of connections. So gratitude of connections and relationships. Too often we place high value in the time we have invested into friendships and relationships, when all, no matter how short or long, are there to teach us more about ourselves. Take a moment to appreciate the special connections in your life, those of the past, those of now, and those to come. Welcome the lessons and the blessings that each provides. You are here, after all, to enjoy.
That is beautiful. I love that. Basically, honor all of the relationships regardless.
Yes.
That's very beautiful. Oh my God, your channels are really, really, really cool.
Thank you.
How much do you love it? Do you love channeling?
I do. I love it very much. Yes, I want to start channeling in other ways too. So I really want to start into channeling music. That's like
Wait, what?
channeling music.
How do you do that? What do you mean?
I'm gonna figure it out.
Do you know how to write music?
No, not like that. Like in chants.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been in ceremony with a couple of people. The first one was a guy, and he had it was a shamanic drum, and he started doing it's some kind of it's a tribal chant, like a Native American. And when he got in there, it was like he left the room, and like some Native American man came and like took his place, and it was amazing. Like,
Wow.
it was like, yeah, what came out of him was just so powerful, and I was like, wow, like that's awesome. And then I saw my shaman do it as well. She does it with a drum as well, and she'll ask like, you guys need to keep it down for this because I gotta concentrate, I'm channeling. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So yes, that's
Okay,
like
I'm
on
excited
my
to
list.
see it. And of course,
Yes.
you guys will hear this. Hopefully, we'll hear this firsthand here. The only thing I'm going to do for the closing vibe is draw a card for you guys for the rest of the week until the next episode when you can join us. I'm using the Rebel deck. The Rebel deck is called the Oracle with Attitude, and it's a pink box. There's a unicorn on the front with a big no sign over it. And the tagline is 0 filter, 0 fucks, all fun. So, this is the very wise message that I have for all of you, all of our listeners for the next week from the Rebel deck. And Fiora, if you will just say the word, tell me to stop, and whatever card lands on top, this is the card for the our listeners.
Okay, stop.
Okay. So the message is, if you are pissed at where you are in your life, then stop taking yourself there. And the Rebel deck says, make better fucking choices.
Oh, the Rebel deck's not taking any shit.
No, the Rebel deck... The Rebel deck is super sassy and super hard hitting. I love this deck. It is hilarious. The other day I was going through some of my angst, about what's not going right, what's not going right. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Where do I make changes in my career? And where do I make changes in here and there and blah, blah, blah. And so I just got this urge to pull from the Rebel deck. And honestly, the Rebel deck, the message was, allow that shit to come to you. Don't fucking force it. And honestly, I've had this card up over the last week and a half, because every time I start to get in the area of what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I just look at that card. So the Rebel deck is fun, guys. Pick yourself up this deck if you haven't. Do some Googling it and you'll love it. It's really cool.
This is an unsponsored segment for the Rebel deck.
I know. Excuse me. Hello, Rebel deck. We will we'll talk about you if there's some sponsorship there.
Some sponsorship opportunities available.
I know I'm going to reach out to the Rebel deck. I am.
There you
send
go.
them,
All
send them
right.
a copy of this.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We did just want to mention, please take the moment to share and review our podcast if you haven't done so already. Also, whenever you share our episodes via Spotify through any apps, it definitely helps us out to get into more ears. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you can find us on all the socials under Esoterics Podcast.
And please be sure to join our Facebook group, the Woke Akashic, to hear firsthand about our classes and events, as well as get some cool intuitive development tips. And we're offering some free meditations and just a lot more. There's a lot going on in that group. It's a great group. So join us.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing space with us today. Stay mystical, magical, and ready to do it again next week. And we don't have a topic yet for next week, so it's open.
So we're going to surprise you again.
Again.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.